Why does society often grapple with understanding homosexuality? A question that reveals so much about our collective psyche. It's no secret that the perception of homosexuality varies greatly across different cultures, societies, and individuals. There's a kaleidoscope of views out there, some rooted in understanding, others in misconception and stereotype. Imagine a world where everyone thought the same, looked the same, loved the same. Quite a dull place, wouldn't you agree? Difference is what adds color to our world. It's what makes us unique, what makes us human. But with difference often comes misunderstanding, and homosexuality is no stranger to this. From the belief that it's a choice to the notion that it's unnatural, these misconceptions often eclipse the reality that homosexuality is just another expression of human love and intimacy. It's not about turning a blind eye, but about opening our hearts to understanding, empathy, and acceptance. Let's delve deeper to unravel the truth behind these perceptions. Homosexuality, a term that often stirs up a storm of emotions, but what does it truly mean? At its core, homosexuality is an aspect of human sexual orientation. It's about the capacity for profound emotional, romantic, and sexual attraction to individuals of the same sex. It's not a choice, just as heterosexuality isn't. It's not a phase or a whim, but a deep-seated part of an individual's identity. Sexual orientation is a spectrum, with heterosexuality at one end, homosexuality at the other, and bisexuality somewhere in between. It's important to note that these labels are not boxes that confine us, but simply a way for us to understand and communicate our experiences. Homosexuality is not a recent phenomenon or a product of the modern era. It has been a part of human societies throughout history and across cultures. From ancient Greece and Rome to indigenous tribes of the Americas, same-sex relationships and attraction have been documented and acknowledged. It's also not exclusive to humans. Over 1,500 animal species, from dolphins to penguins, have been observed exhibiting same-sex behavior, underscoring the fact that homosexuality is a natural aspect of life on Earth. Despite these facts, misconceptions abound. Some believe it's a mental disorder, a myth debunked by the American Psychiatric Association over 4 decades ago. Others claim it's unnatural or immoral, but these are subjective interpretations, often rooted in cultural or religious beliefs, not scientific facts. So let's clear the air. Homosexuality is not a disease to be cured, a sin to be repented, or a crime to be punished. It is a natural and normal aspect of human diversity. It's about love, connection, and authenticity. Yes, it's different from the majority, but diversity is the spice of life. It's what makes us unique, interesting, and human. It's about time we embrace and celebrate these differences rather than fear them. Understanding the definition is the first step towards acceptance. The next time you hear the term homosexual, remember it's not just about who someone loves, but about recognizing their right to love freely and openly, without fear or prejudice. Is homosexuality a choice, or is it ingrained within us? This question has sparked countless debates, but scientific research is increasingly pointing towards a biological basis of homosexuality. Let's dive into it. Over the years, various scientific studies have suggested that our sexuality is not a simple yes or no choice, but rather an integral part of our identity that is likely shaped by a combination of genetic, hormonal, and environmental influences. It's not something that one chooses or can change. It's just a part of who we are, much like our height or the color of our eyes. One key piece of evidence comes from studies involving identical twins. These studies have shown that if one twin identifies as homosexual, the likelihood of the other twin also identifying as homosexual is significantly higher than in non-identical twins or siblings. This suggests a genetic component to homosexuality. Additionally, research has indicated that the structure and function of certain brain regions may differ between heterosexual and homosexual individuals. This doesn't mean that one is better or worse than the other. It simply highlights the diversity and complexity of human biology. It's important to note, however, that biology is not destiny. While these biological factors may influence our sexual orientation, they do not determine it entirely. Our environment, culture, experiences, and personal interpretation of these factors also play a significant role. Moreover, it's crucial to understand that this scientific exploration is not about trying to find a cause or a cure for homosexuality. Homosexuality is not a disease, it's simply a natural variation of human sexuality. This research is about understanding human nature, not changing it. So, is homosexuality a choice? The evidence suggests not. It appears to be a complex interplay of biology and environment, intricately woven into the fabric of our identity. Nature, it seems, has a more complex design than we often realize. What implications does homosexuality have on society at large? This is a question that many people ponder. The societal implications of homosexuality are vast and multifaceted, affecting social norms, cultural expectations, and the structures of our communities. In many ways, the acceptance of homosexuality challenges long-standing norms and traditions. It disrupts the traditional understanding of gender roles and family structures. Instead of a society that is rigidly defined by binary gender roles, the acceptance of homosexuality allows for a more fluid understanding of gender and relationships. This can lead to a society that is more accepting of individual differences and less constrained by rigid norms and expectations. Homosexuality also has implications for diversity and inclusion. By accepting homosexuality, society is acknowledging and validating the experiences of a significant number of people who have often been marginalized or overlooked. This leads to a more diverse and inclusive society, where people are valued for who they are, rather than who they are expected to be. But it's not just about diversity and inclusion. Accepting homosexuality can also lead to a more empathetic society. When we accept and value people for their differences, we are also fostering empathy and understanding. We are encouraging people to look beyond their own experiences and to appreciate the unique perspectives and experiences of others. This can lead to a society that is more compassionate, understanding, and harmonious. On another note, the acceptance of homosexuality can also have economic implications. Studies have shown that societies that are more accepting of homosexuality tend to have higher levels of economic development. This is because these societies are more likely to value and utilize the talents and abilities of all their members, leading to greater productivity and innovation. In conclusion, the societal implications of homosexuality are far-reaching. They challenge traditional norms and expectations, foster diversity and inclusion, promote empathy and understanding, and can even contribute to economic development. The acceptance of homosexuality can indeed pave the way for a more inclusive society. How does homosexuality fit within the framework of legal and human rights? This question has been at the forefront of socio-political discourse for several decades, and while progress has been made, there remains much to be done. In many parts of the world, the legal rights of the LGBTQ+ community have seen significant advancements. Numerous countries have enacted laws to protect against discrimination based on sexual orientation in various sectors, such as employment, housing, and healthcare. The right to marry, once a distant dream, is now a reality for same-sex couples in over 20 countries, including the United States, Canada, and many European nations. However, this progress is not uniform across the globe. In several regions, homosexuality is still criminalized, and punishments can range from fines to imprisonment, and in some cases, even death. These laws not only violate the fundamental human right to love freely, but also contribute to a culture of fear and stigma. It's also important to remember that legal rights are only one aspect of the equation. For true equality, societal attitudes must evolve concurrently. Laws can change on paper, but the real change happens when hearts and minds are open to understanding and acceptance. Moreover, beyond the rights to non-discrimination in marriage, there are other crucial areas where legal protection is needed. These include rights to adoption, access to reproductive technologies, and protection against hate crimes. The fight for these rights is ongoing and requires constant vigilance and advocacy. The United Nations Human Rights Council has recognized that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, including those who identify as LGBTQ+. However, the journey to realizing this ideal is far from over. In conclusion, while we have taken significant strides towards equality, the legal and human rights status of homosexuals around the world is still a mixed bag. The fight for equality, acceptance, and respect continues, with the hope that one day, everyone can live freely and openly without fear of persecution. Human rights, it seems, are still a battlefield for many. So what have we learned about homosexuality today? We've delved into societal perceptions, exploring how they can provoke and shape our understanding and attitudes towards homosexuality. We've defined what it means to be gay, shedding light on the fact that it's not a choice but an integral part of one's identity. We dove into the biological basis, discussing evidence that points to a genetic component, proving that being gay is not a decision, but rather a part of the natural spectrum of human sexuality. We've also looked at societal implications, acknowledging the various challenges and prejudices faced by the LGBTQ+ community, and the ongoing struggle for acceptance and equality. And finally, we've examined the legal perspective, highlighting the importance of human rights and the progress made in recognizing and protecting these rights for all, regardless of sexual orientation. Remember, understanding and acceptance are the building blocks of an empathetic society.